They called her the people's princess. But behind every perfect photo was a woman crying alone. Before the crown, before the fairy tale, there was just Diana. And before the end came one final phone call that the world was never meant to hear. A call that still raises questions and chills. Before she was a princess, she was Diana Spencer. A young woman with shy eyes, a soft voice, and dreams of being loved, not worshipped. Born into British nobility in 1961, Diana grew up in a fractured home. Her parents divorced when she was just 7. That wound never truly healed. As a child, Diana was known for her sensitivity. She loved helping people. She'd pick up injured birds and bandage their wings. She felt things deeply, maybe too deeply for the world she was born into. When Prince Charles chose her to be his bride, the nation rejoiced. A royal wedding, a fairy tale. But no one asked Diana what she wanted. She was 20. He was 32. The cameras loved them. But the silence between them grew. Their marriage was a palace, filled with locked doors. She cried in secret. She struggled with her mental health. She felt isolated, trapped in a world that demanded perfection. Yet still, she smiled. To the world she was grace. But inside, she was breaking. As the years passed, Diana became more than a royal icon. She became a global symbol of compassion. She walked into AIDS wards when others were too afraid. She held hands with dying children in orphanages. She comforted the forgotten, hugged the sick, and embraced the unloved. She made humanity her kingdom. But the crown didn't like it. Her glow outshined them. The tabloids attacked. Whispers of affairs, divorces, betrayal. The palace turned its back. But the people leaned in. And then, she found someone new. A man named Dodi Al-Fayed, son of a billionaire. They laughed, traveled, escaped the press on yachts and beaches. But they were never truly alone. The cameras never stopped. The whispers never faded. The walls never softened. That night in Paris, August 30th, 1997, the city glowed with the warmth of late summer. Diana and Dodi checked into the Ritz Hotel. She wore a soft blue blouse. Her smile was tired, but she looked radiant. They planned to go quietly to Dodi's apartment. No paparazzi, no chaos, but the press had found them. Motorcycles, lenses, flashes like lightning. They couldn't breathe without someone watching. At 12:20 a.m., they left the hotel through the back door. Henri Paul, the deputy head of security, was driving. Trevor Rees-Jones, their bodyguard, sat up front. Diana and Dodi sat in the back. No seat belts, just fear and frustration. They sped off through the streets of Paris. Cameras behind them, lights blinding. Moments later, they entered the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. Seconds later, impact, silence. Here's where the story turns dark and chilling. Before she left the hotel, Diana made a call. It wasn't to Charles, not to William, not to her sister. It was to someone no one expected, a journalist, a trusted friend in the media, someone she had spoken to several times in secret. The call lasted just under 12 minutes, and it was never recorded, never traced, never acknowledged by officials. Some say she was scared. Others say she spoke of being followed, watched. Some believe she was trying to leave a final trace, in case something happened. No one knows the exact words, but witnesses say her tone was urgent, serious, emotional, and then, she was gone. The journalist refused to reveal what she said. And years later, he disappeared from the public eye. Was she saying goodbye? Or exposing something? We'll never know. The crash was brutal. The car crumpled like paper. Henri Paul and Dodi were killed instantly. Diana was still alive. Barely. She was pulled from the wreckage at 1 a.m., unconscious, bleeding internally. She held on for hours, as doctors fought to keep her heart beating. At 4 a.m. she was declared dead, and the world broke. Millions cried. Flowers flooded Buckingham Palace gates. Children wept. Adults screamed. Candles lit across continents. And 2 young boys, William and Harry, lost their mother. Why wasn't she wearing a seatbelt? Why was the driver drunk? Why did security let them leave in that condition? And most chilling, why did no one ever investigate her final phone call? There were no recordings, no surveillance tapes released, no official mention of it. But we know this much: Diana believed she was in danger. She wrote it in letters, spoke of it in tapes, feared it in her heart. "I'm afraid they're going to kill me," she once said. In a car accident. Diana is gone, but her voice echoes. In every child rescued from landmines. In every AIDS patient treated with dignity. And every girl told you matter too. And in the silence of that phone call, we hear her final plea. Remember me for who I was, not what they made me. If her story touched you, don't let it end here. Pushpin like this video to keep her light alive. Speech balloon comment what part of her story stayed in your heart. Envelope with arrow and tell us what country or story we should explore next. Candle subscribe to Vibloom Stories, where we bring truth, tears, and the unheard voices back to life. We don't just tell stories, we remember them.